Some people love the show so much that they email in, and sometimes it's not love, Jade. Sometimes they've got bones to pick. They got gears that have been grinded. Ooh. And producer James sent us one that David sent in. So can I read it out loud?
Read it out loud with feeling.
Thanks for all the entertainment and advice regarding finances. But what I don't get is why you guys get all excited when a guy says, I just got engaged or I just got married. There's hand clapping, cheers, congrats, etc., especially when it's someone in their early 20s. These kids are just too young to know what they're getting into, but you guys cheer them on. Unreal. Fact is, that guy just signed a contract saying if the marriage doesn't work out, which most don't, then there's a good chance she'll take him to the cleaners in divorce court. We hear about this all the time. There is nothing in it for guys to get married at all. This did not happen to me. I am not married, so I am not bitter or angry. Women can usually cash in if it doesn't work out. People might argue that getting married is good because you have a partner, someone to help you, etc., but you can have all of that without signing a contract saying you will provide cash and prizes, alimony and or child support, when it doesn't work out. In California, if you get divorced after 10 years, you will be paying her forever or until she remarries. I've noticed that in most marriages, soon after the vows, the woman chops off most of her hair, and starts barking orders at her husband. Marriage is not like it was 50 years ago. Would love to hear what you think. Thank you. Wow, David. So much to unpack there, and I think a professional counselor should do it, but, we'll add some color commentary to this.
My guy sounds like he's been burned, George. Or
absolutely.
He's jaded, one of the two. Wow.
Yeah, which, you know what? As much as we can pick on David, he represents a large portion of the male population who feels this way. And if you don't believe me, go to any YouTube comment section and they're in there going, this is why you should never get married. They'll take you to the cleaners.
That's interesting because there's actually so many great, this is a show about money, your life and your money, but there's actually a lot of great reasons to be married. If we talk about it from the money standpoint, he seems to think that, it's all about being taken to the cleaners and it's all about losing out. I definitely have some... Maybe you're just picking the wrong lady, but, there are definitely some positives to being married after being married 15 years. I'd like to think that there's
I just never once looked at marriage as this financial contract and who's getting what. That's just a weird spirit to have.
Well, no, you definitely don't want to go into it like that. Hey, I'm going to marry this guy simply because... that
if you have that attitude and you get married, you probably will get divorced and it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, yeah,
because you went in with terrible intentions and a terrible spirit.
Side note, that just made me think of a story. So my husband, Sam, who happens to be sitting out there, when we were engaged, he was in his grandfather's will, right? To get money upon death. But there was a stipulation that said he had to marry someone Jewish to get the money. And your girl is not Jewish. So that put us ultimately to the test.
Wow.
And Sam chose me over the money.
Will. Well, how much are we talking here?
Ooh.
Like 10 million or 20 grand?
$70,000.
70 grand. You're worth more than 70 grand.
I like to think it's great to know that I'm worth more than $70,000.
You can't put a worth on a person, but we know that you're at least worth more than that.
100%.
And I think he's saying the ROI is there.
The ROI.
He would do it all over again.
He better.
He's amazing.
He better.
Well, Jay, this is an interesting conversation because there's been a lot in the news about marriage and wealth and the power of couples to build wealth versus someone who's single or even those that are cohabitating, just shacking up.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
What are we finding?
It's interesting. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal and they were talking about this wealth gap that you're talking about. And they found that people who were living together, not married, not even sharing their finances, but their net worth was a quarter of those who were married and sharing finances.
Wow.
A quarter. That means if you're married sharing your finances, you are earning 3/4 more. Your net worth is that much higher.
Yeah, and here's the numbers if you're curious. The median, this is as of 2019, median net worth for cohabitating couples aged 25 to 34 was 17 grand. And for married couples, it was 68 grand. And for singles, 7 grand.
Yeah, that is
shocking.
Shocking in some ways. But actually, George, when you really think about it, it's not that shocking because think about it. I'm just thinking of it from compound interest alone. I mean, compound interest on one person's, say they've contributed $10,000, right? And then the spouse over here contributed another $10,000. Compound interest isn't helping you the same as if you had $20,000 all in one spot. So there's that. Then there's a whole homeowner side of it.
Oh, yeah. You're more likely
home.
to be a homeowner, which
Yeah.
is, houses appreciate, and you're more likely to be investing. You're more likely to have dual incomes, and it's harder to gain traction as a young single person than it is as a married couple. And so
better together.
And we also, there's new studies. One is from Cornell showing that joint bank accounts have a higher correlation to longer lasting and happier marriages.
That is very
Because
interesting.
that's a controversial stance we have, is that you should combine bank accounts, and people come at us with the
They
spirit
do.
of David saying, "Oh my, she's gonna take you to the cleaners if you have." I don't know why I'm becoming a wrestler right now, but that's the
I'm here
David
for it.
voice.
It's interesting. I think the connection there is that you have long-term planning in mind. If you're willing to combine your finances, it means that there's a strong level of trust, which, it takes trust to really get anything done. And then that you're really thinking towards the future. You've sat down and you've planned out, which means you're probably on the same page. And you know as well as I do that when where there is no vision, the people perish. Dave says it all the time, and I think that when you have that vision as a couple, as a married couple, you put your money together, of course, you're going to go further, faster. You're going to do better together.
Yeah, and there's accountability that is
Yes.
built in when you have a partner. Because when you're single, you can kind of just do your own thing, and no one's going to yell at you for going on a retail therapy spree.
Facts.
Versus Sam going, hey, I just saw that bank transaction come through. What's going on here? Let's
Yeah.
have a conversation about it. And so that accountability helps keep you on track, the shared vision, the shared
Yeah.
goals. And it's one of the reasons Financial Peace University is such a powerful tool
Oh, man.
that changed both of our lives. And my spouse works at Ramsey Solutions.
Hey.
And so when we started our marriage off, I had already gotten out of debt. She was way smarter than I was and never touched debt. And so we had this crazy goal of what if we saved up a huge down payment and then paid off our house as quickly as possible?
Wow.
And so in 26 months, we paid off our mortgage after the intensity. And we did our debt-free scream
Yes.
almost a year ago. And I'm telling you, the power to build wealth when you have a couple that's on the same page with the same language, shared common language, the same goals, shared vision. I mean, that's what makes a power couple.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
You guys are unstoppable,
And
man.
so if you want that, it's available for you. And don't listen to the hope stealers out there like David saying, don't get married. She's going to take you to the cleaners.
Absolutely.
Get rid of that turd attitude right now. Okay? Have a little bit of
Absolutely.
hope. We need more optimists in this world. And there's plenty of amazing marriages out there, plenty of people who will show you that it's possible. And one of the reasons is getting on the same page with money.
That's right, George. And it begs to be said, because I got to say this. People might be listening and going, ooh, if we just combine our finances, that's our golden ticket. If y'all are out there, say you're living together, but you're not married, do not combine your finances. If you're not married, don't combine your
good call.
finances.
Yes.
Right? We got to say that because the implications there could be dire.
Put
you
a
know?
ring on it, go to the courthouse, and then combine your bank accounts. And by
That's
the way,
right.
if you're one of these guys that's been dating a girl for 8 or 9 years, she's waiting on the ring,
Come on,
Jeff.
man.
She's been waiting too long. Homegirl's about to bounce if you don't commit.
Come on, son.
So that's just a PSA to all the Jeffs out there. If your name is Jeff and you're a good guy, I'm sorry. But I just had to use someone's name.
Jeff's good. I usually use Biff or
I like Biff.
Cousin
there's
Boo Boo.
Rarely is there a Biff out there listening. Oh my goodness. Well,
Cousin
it's a
Boo Boo.
good conversation. David, we picked on you, but we do appreciate the email, and thank you for listening. You can send in your feedback at ask@ramseysolutions.com.